Hi, everybody. I'm Rosie A. Point, and today it is my pleasure to welcome August's featured author, Anne R. Tan, who is a USA Today bestselling author. She writes the Rain or Sun Mystery Series, the Lucy Fong Mystery Series, and the Cedar Woods Mystery Series. And her humorous cozy mysteries feature Chinese American amateur sleuths dealing with love, family, and life while solving murders. Her books feature diverse characters and relationships because everyone deserves to be an armchair detective. I love that. Her featured book for the Cozy Mystery Book Club is Sunny Mates and Murders, and it is in her Rain or Sun Mystery Series. So if you're watching this and you haven't already signed up to get her story, I encourage you to do so. It's such a fun read. So welcome. It's so nice to talk to you today. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for the introduction, Rosie. You make me sound so much better than I would think I would sound.
But that's you. That's what you've done. So you are great. And okay, so first question, tell us about how you got into writing cozy mysteries in the first place. What started it all?
Um, I think I'm like your typical mystery reader. You start out as a kid reading mystery. For me, like the earliest mysteries I remember reading is like the Boxcar Children's series. And then later you go up to Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. And then from there on, you discover the adult cozy mysteries, Laura Levine, Janet Ivanovich, things of that nature. And then you're just like, I'm not stopping from here. This is great. And then so when it came time to figuring out what you want to write, it's just natural to go, you write what you know, right? So
Yeah.
I spend my entire life reading mysteries. That's what I write.
Awesome. So who is your favorite character from your cozies? Is it Raina or Popo? Like, she's my favorite. So who's your favorite?
Well, most of the readers really like Popo, but for me, she's too much. She's like larger than life. So it's to me, I find it really hard to see myself as her. For me, it's more she's more of the that you have that crazy relative that's gonna come, and as soon as she comes, she's gonna cause a lot of chaos in your home. That's what Popo is like, and so that's why she's the reader's favorite. But for me, I really like Reina because she's a young woman, always trying to do her best, but always getting herself into these extraordinary circumstances that just kind of pushes her to the limit. And as we all know, when you're in that stressful environment, how you react is basically who you really are, right? And
Yeah.
so for me, my favorite character is actually Reina Sun.
Oh, that makes so much sense. She's great. I read the book and I enjoyed it so much. I love the whole series. So now, can readers read Sunny Mates and Murders as a standalone, or should they really read the series from the start? It's a bingeable series, so be warned, readers.
All my books are standalone, but because there's a lot of Easter eggs in my book, it's probably best you read it from the beginning because book five basically resolves some of the little mysteries that was thread throughout the series from the first five books. Um, in that book, it's actually also one of my favorite ones to write. That book opens with Reina and her grandma in like a chop suey restaurant in Toronto, and they're meeting the head of the Nine Dragons Triad. The reason why is because she wants her deceased grandfather's journal back. In there are some family secrets she's trying to, resolve. And basically, he stole it from her room in book three. And so she's meeting up with him, trying to figure out how she can get this book back. And that's when Sunny Kwan, who is an Asian version of Sunny Corentos from General Hospital, the soap opera. That was the person I had in mind when I wrote that character. And just like General Hospital, the mob mixes in with the characters and somehow they're threatening, but not enough that it's scary, kind of that's the vibe. And so Sunny was like, you can have your journal back, but I need you to pretend to be my fiance this weekend for like a family reunion kind of scenario. And she's like, what? You're a mob boss. What the heck are you doing with family events? And it turns out it's because Sunny's ex-girlfriend just got married to the another mob, I guess. And so they're going to show up at the party, and he didn't want to show up, single. And Reina was like, well, can't you just go get another girl? Why me? Right? Why me? Right? And he's like, well, I need somebody with a little bit more class. And she's like, that's not me. What the heck are you talking about? And then, of course, during this entire conversation, she has this like microphone thing in her ear. Her grandmother is listening in on the conversation the entire time, right? And her grandmother thinks Sunny is like crazy hot. And so she's like, yeah, I don't know with him if you don't want to go. So she's having conversations at the same time during this opening scene where her grandmother is making little side comments every time Sunny proposes something. Like she was asking, well, if I do it this weekend, are we gonna share a room? And then he's like, yes, we do. And then grandmother on the side like say, oh yeah, I would like that. And then she's like, well, does that mean we're gonna have separate beds? And then he's like, I don't know about you, I'm keeping the bed. And then grandma on the side is like going, I'll hop in there with him. Opening scene of Sunny Mates and Murder, and it just kind of goes on from there.
That is fantastic. I'm hooked already. It's too good. It sounds like, well, then I can see why Popo is a reader favorite, because that's just the comedic, chaotic effect is in full force. Wow.
She basically say everything that neither one of normal polite people would not say. She would
Yeah.
just like just say it. And it's because the way she figures it, she's like, well, I'm old enough now, I could say anything. Nobody's gonna right.
I think people can relate to that. I wish I could be like that, honestly. So what is the most important part of telling stories for you? Is it that humor, or what is it?
The most important part is the character's growth. I don't like static characters, and I know that is the norm in the mystery genre. You have a character and they just go from book to book, and it's this exact same character, very minimal growth kind of scenario. And I actually don't like that. I actually like to see a progression of growth because that's how we all are human, right? I mean, you that's why so in my series you start out with Reina just being single, broke, in book one, and then and she's a little bit of a doormat, I admit it. But then you see that throughout the series, her grandma is pushing her to be that stronger woman, and she is developing it. And then by book number 11, at the end of the series, she's with her significant other in Hawaii. Coco's there with her brother. You see a lot of growth in my series as you read them, and that's the part that I like.
That's amazing. That's like, to your point, Sherlock Holmes, for instance, is a character that
Mm-hmm.
is the same character. Yeah, I understand what you mean. I think it is super important for characters to grow.
Well, part of it is also because when I developed the Reina Sun character, that was the time when I became a first-time mom. So I was home on maternity leave. My daughter, was a few months old. And I wanted to create a character that she can look up to, Asian American character, kind of like her, third, fourth generation. And for me, that's why I have the grandmother character constantly pushing Reina to become a stronger woman. And I'm hoping, and of course my daughter now, she's a teenager, she's like, when can I read these books? And so for me, it's pushing some of that philosophy in the series for her. Someday, when I'm not around, I'm hoping she can read these books and she can see the development of Reina and her growth in becoming a strong woman and being able to stand up, and stand out because in Asian culture in general, women are told to sit in a corner and be quiet and be polite, and you're supposed to be in the kitchen. And I don't want that for my daughter, and I don't want that for Reina.
That is amazing. That's like almost like a love letter to your daughter through your books. That's fantastic. It's so touching. Okay, so just give me a second here. What challenges have you faced as an author?
I can't get the stories out fast enough. I mean, like you're a writer, you should know. You always have characters in your head, and your fingers can only go so fast. Even like if you try to use dictation or whatnot, for me, I just can't. And
Yeah.
I wish I can get more stories out. And then I wish I could have stories like from top to bottom, just get it all out in one go. But for me, I have a tendency where I'll write a few books and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to think about this for a little bit, and then I'll switch series and I'll write a few books. But then while I'm writing these other books, like right now I'm writing Bag the Body in the Cedar Woods series. I'm already thinking about how to write book 12 in the Rain of Sun series. And I'm like, maybe I should stop and go and write the number 12 book. I'm really looking forward to the number 12 book, right? And then I'm like, no, I can't. I'm already like, 75% done with this one. Just get it done. And then you waste a lot of energy just doing that, right? Like, I want to do this. No, go back to this. Go back to this. What are you doing with that? Like a challenge.
It's that is, you perfectly described shiny object syndrome. I'm like that 100%. I also have I have a bunch of series and I always want to switch to the other one when I'm writing, but oh my word. So what is next for you this year? What's coming next and what you have planned?
So this year I want to finish Bag the Body, the Cedarwood series, and then I have Corgi Christmas Chaos, which is the third book in the series. And then after I finish those two, then I will switch back to Rain of Sun because I really want to get back to her. I left her at a stage where, you know, um, her husband finally go, hey, maybe we should have a kid. So I'm really looking forward to that, the next
Yeah.
few books.
Are you going to continue that series for a lot longer? Like how far do you
Yes,
want to expand it?
that is my Polly Forever series. I don't plan to stop writing in it. It's just that I just need to take a little break for a little bit. But I will always go back to that. It's not just her character, it's the family that's built up around it. She has her family with all the traditional Asian culture in San Francisco. So sometimes she goes to San Francisco. And then she now has her senior citizens family in Gold Springs, which is the town she lives in. So she's the director for the senior center. And next to the senior center is the senior apartments, and all these senior ladies and gentlemen with her grandma. There's always chaos, something for her to resolve. And then she also has the link to the bakery because she works there part-time as well. And so because of those three locations, there's so much to write about that I just don't see an endpoint for that series.
That's so fun. Oh my word, I can't wait. The way you've just described all the possibilities for what could happen gets me really excited. So just a final question. Where can readers find you?
I actually don't really hang out in social media much. So the best place to find me is probably on my website and to sign up for my newsletter. I send out a monthly newsletter, and I just chit chat about things because I'm just very chatty.
That's fun. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And this has been super fun getting to know you better. And I hope that the readers enjoy it. I'm sure they will.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Have an awesome day.
All right, bye.